All these people have names and address. We know where they live, and we could go there and burn their houses down.
All the wealthy people, their families, their kids, you can shame their children.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Brock Lawley, and yes, we have to unfortunately tackle the climate change, nay, climate disturbance, nay, climate catastrophe, nay, climate weirding, nay, climate resilience, nay, climate change, nay, global warming. We have to address this because our commander-in-chief, the buck-naked emperor himself, gets out there and starts giving authoritative speeches with much more passion and gusto than he does about ISIS lopping off the heads of American citizens. The climate change nonsense just will not stop. They will not stop. Obama comes out there and he's going to help. This is a quote, help developing nations to do their part. Developing nations meaning sub-Saharan Africa. Basically you have the Congo down there. You have South Africa. You have a whole tapestry of nations in South America and all these struggling nations to put food on the table and trying to improve their lives with, say, an electrical socket. But they need to do their part, and Obama's going to teach them how to do that. And how is he going to do that? With new executive orders by the dictator-in-chief himself to safeguard, in his quote, economic development with all of these toll styles, these energy roadblocks, these special interest handouts to deal with the climate resistance problem, the climate disturbance problem, the climate catastrophe problem, the climate weirding problem. You notice this sort of leapfrog of names here. Of course, they can jump from natural weather occurrences like hot and cold seasons, like hurricanes and tornadoes, and of course blame them all on some term they've invented. You know that magnet game that you put on your fridge and you can just kind of mix and match the words? It's as if the climate changers got drunk bombed off their butt and just started mixing these words together and then had a press conference the day after with a real straight face. What this really boils down to, if you do the research, which I've done, is this is a political payola to leftists, organizations throughout the world, NGO organizations, far left environmentalist, anti-progress organizations throughout the world, with a huge trough of hundreds of millions of American taxpayer dollars that they get to go in there with their beak and soak up. All of which built upon a hoax. All of which built on completely non-scientific, secularist religion. Essentially, we're dealing with people who want to repeal the Industrial Revolution, the Enlightenment, so backwards. This is essentially what the left has become. They don't want to have children, and they want to live in some hut. Except this is the big catch and the aggressive sandpaper of this whole issue, which is they don't really want to do that. They want you to do that. Evidenced by the fact that these flood Wall Street / climate change, and we're going to get to their truth. These guys go down there and they're protesting about Mother Earth. And of course, Mother Earth is off the tip of their tongue. And immediately following that, of course, is the claptrap leftist talking points they're spewing out, which is really what this issue is about. But then they leave the whole place like a rave, like a college party rave with trash and crap and litter and drug paraphernalia all over the streets. Clearly, because they're concerned with Mother Earth. Clearly that's the case. No, they're anti-progress. They're anti-increased life expectancy. They're anti-procreation. They're anti-reason. They're anti-truth. And yes, the truth be told, they're anti-science. Because everything we know about science, everything we know about economic development, everything we know about balance and understanding these issues, they know nothing about. That's the irony. Leo, the UN crowns as the expert on this issue. These people, what's funny is they know nothing of science. They know nothing of what they're talking about. As if you were out there hired to be a football coach, not having the slightest bit of knowledge about football, having never played football, clueless of the rules, clueless of the strategy, clueless of first downs, touchdowns, field goals, etc. This is who we have out there spouting off. Actors, billionaires. And of course, that's the truth. Tom Steyer, billionaire. Michael Bloomberg, billionaire. Michael Moore, billionaire. Al Gore, billionaire. When you look into this, you follow the leftist money, you're going to find the Billionaires Club, which is wielding this whole thing and affecting the American and global economy like puppeteers, putting on the garb of science, which is junk science, because every bit of scientific evidence that comes down the barrel of the bend refutes this crap. And it's amazing. Naomi Klein just comes out and admits that she's never seen the evidence in the science. But because the people forwarding this hoax were into social justice and into leftist causes, she hitched her wagon to this nonsense. This is what it's all about. They try to ally these things with radical leftist agenda. And this is nothing new. The green socialism has been around for a long time. You can read about this stuff. This is economics. This is leftist power. That's all this is. It's terribly frustrating to see this. There is no science involved in this issue. The climate change expert from the Obama administration, the first term, just now came out and said the science is not behind this stuff. But you have to understand reason, science, truth. It's impenetrable to this because it's a leftist dogma. It's a leftist religion. It's a stand-in religion. And moreover, it's just a conduit. It's just a conduit to Marxist, socialist, collectivists' politics. That's all it is. It's anti-capitalism. It's anti-progress. It's anti-free market. And here's the irony. These people bathe themselves in the fruit of capitalism and free markets. It's disgusting. And if I haven't convinced you of that, let's listen to their own words.
All these people have names and addresses. Like every person us over, we know where they live. And we could go there and burn their houses down. And go, look, you want to ruin my environment and ruin my home? I'll come to your home and I'll ruin yours.
They should be taking sledgehammers and just busting up everything and shutting the system down altogether.
Shame and humble all the wealthy people, their families, their kids, have protests out in front of their schools, because if they're not shamed themselves, then you can shame their children.
Notice, ladies and gentlemen, you put a mic in front of their mouth, and what do they talk about? They don't talk about climate change, CO2. They talk about harming people's children. They talk about burning down the houses of the rich. Do you understand? It's just leftism in a cloak, whoring out the name of science, which harms you, your children, your future, and the prosperity of millions to come. They're the brown shirt SS thugs. Green is the new red. Thank you for listening to the Brock Lawley Show. CourageCulture.net for all the stories.